so to start, you want to remove the A-pillars, right? So these are the A-pillars here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a small tool like this, and you're just going to so you're going to get it in here and just press down, right? And then you just can pull that out. It's got this little tether that keeps it in place. All right. Then you're going to take, this is a 10mm socket. You can also do this with a drill. It's obviously much quicker on the drill. And then there's another one. Here at the bottom, okay? Once you do that, you're just gonna grab on it and give it a nice tug. We're doing this on a Ford Lightning. This one's already been done for almost a year now, but the client was gracious enough to let us borrow the truck so that we can show exactly how it's done. So we have these connectors, and this way you can unplug it and completely remove the A-pillar. So there's a factory connector. You would unplug the factory connector, and you're gonna tape it. We're not gonna use that. And then you're gonna run up this connector from the amp rack, and it's gonna be labeled DT, driver's tweeter, and then the passenger will be labeled PT, passenger tweeter, okay? Now we're gonna show you how to remove the driver's door panel. So what you do is you take a plastic pry tool, and you're gonna just pop the top here, and that'll release. Now, there is also two clips at the bottom, but they are a little bit more difficult too. So you would remove this, you press that little tab, and that comes off, okay? And then now on the inside here, we have to remove this as well. So this cover has to come out. So same thing, you could take this tool, pop it out. There's two clips, one there and one there. You remove that. Lastly, you have to remove this light. So what I found easiest is to do that and kind of inch it out. And there's a bolt there as well. So pero es más. Deja checar. Yeah. All right. So for these bolts, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts that you have to remove in order to remove the door panel, okay? So you can do it with a ratchet and a 7mm wrench, or you can, if you have one for your drill, so you pull that one, that one, and lastly, that one, okay? And then lastly, there's 2 more down here, because if you don't get these, the door will never come off. Ask me how I know. All right, so now once you do that, then if you can see, you just pop the bottom clips off. You can start here because you can grab this. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift up, okay? So there's a plug here. One here. And one there. Now, to release these, you press this little tab, press that little tab, and press that tab. Okay, that releases the clips. Okay, now to release this, you just push in on those. That releases that. So on this one, all you're gonna do is this piece, you're gonna pull down, and I mean literally, it pops off. To put it on, same back, you hook it, and then just clip it back in place. So literally pull down. So once you do that, this obviously you'll have the factory speaker here, right? So you're gonna have 4 7 mils. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're gonna have this connector, which will be plugged directly into the speaker. What you're gonna do is you're gonna remove it, plug it into that, and then bolt in with the 4/7 mils the new speaker itself, okay? These are also our block off plates. So as you can see, they're screwed in every few inches. This is to allow the dealership, if they ever have to service the vehicle, to access the window motor and everything, but still protect the car and keep it deadened so that we get the best performance out of the stereo. You're gonna have one sheet like this, which is pre-cut. You're gonna line it up, and then you just put it on. And then this piece, you're gonna line it up as well. And then you're gonna pre-drill and mount all these screws in to secure this panel in place. Now for the front door, it's a little different, but basically you have the large panel here, this small panel, this, and then there's some pieces that go around here. So on this door panel, very similar. So we have this here. It's kind of a little difficult, but basically you have to get in behind here and pop it, and then you can pop the second one, and there's those two screws. There's still the two on the bottom, very similar to the other side. And then it also has the reflector, right? So same thing, you're gonna kind of put it in there a little bit and kind of pop it out. You wanna kind of inch it out. You don't wanna like jam the whole thing in there and try to come out, because it could break. So you put in like that much, then a little bit more, and then slowly you get it out, right? Okay, now take your 7mm ratchet, or if you have a nut driver like this, it's much quicker this way. Okay, now same thing. If you want to pull on the bottom, you'll hear the clips pop, and then you're gonna pull up, and we have very similar. So you're gonna press down on this clip that lets go of that. Okay. So same thing, you just press these, which release it. This one's a little bit of a, where to go? You have to press that and pull, and then this one goes there, okay? Okay, so same thing on the rear. All you're gonna do is, now this ring will not be on here. This ring goes on after the fact, but basically there's 3 screws. There's 3 mounting points. We'll show you on the speaker. And then same thing. You're gonna take the connector, which is this one right here, that plugs into the factory speaker, and then you're gonna plug in the pre-made one and bolt it up using the existing factory screws. Deadener is gonna be the same. You're gonna have this sheet. You line the sheet up and bolt it in place. And then we have the block off plates, which you're gonna put on the same exact way. All right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm trying to think. So tweeters, front speaker. Should we show the access panel or para enseñarlo de adentro?
Si quieres.
Okay. So I'm going to remove the access panel. So just to show you, this is what the inside of the door panel will look like, right? And so all it is, and the plate has these two. Yours will not have the deadener on the front. It will actually have the deadener on the inside. This was our first generation. Second generation makes it much easier. It has these nubs on the door. There's two nubs that help you. There's one there and one there that help you locate this when you go to mount it and screw it in. What I suggest is before you do the deadener, that you put it up here, pre-drill, and do at least 2 holes. That will help you line it up once you deaden it. Okay, so what I would suggest is, again, these won't be here, so you'll have the 2 holes to line up. And then what I would suggest is that you do this one down here and that one there, and that will hold the panel in place. Now you can pre-drill and do all the other screw holes. So now we're just going to pop all these back on. Okay, for the deadener, same thing, it'll be pre-done. So basically, you put a piece here, 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 and then this is just, it's clipped on, but this just hooks on here. It's stuck because of the deadener. But as you can see the way it goes on, so you put this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece, and then you can reinstall this. And all this does is it just hooks on over these little hooks, and then that's it. So that's all the deadening on the inside of the door panel. That's basically stiffens up the plastic so that with all the extra energy, we don't have any vibrations. Okay, and also, so this is nice because you can see the sound treatment on the inside of the door. So you'll get this in the kit as well. So you'll have these sheets that fit between these bars. So you put one there, and then there's another one on the bottom. But this allows you to treat the inside of the door, which is really important because otherwise the door will resonate. And then also to treat stage 2, the inner skin of the door, because that's where the speaker is mounted to. And you want to, this creates a really good enclosure for the speaker so that we get the best possible performance. Right. So a quick suggestion, and we'll give you a bunch of these, is to bag and tag everything, right? So basically, you're going to put all the screws for this door panel in one bag, so this way you don't get confused. Everything that belongs to this door goes in this bag. So this way, at the end, you're not left over with any screws, okay? Same thing for the tweeter. These are the tweeter screws. So I'm going to put them in a bag so that when I go to put it back in, I know that that's what I got for that, okay? So now I'm going to show you how to take apart the runners. So the runners, you can basically put your hand under here, and you're going to pry up, and it's going to pop apart, right? That's one. This is where we're going to be running all our speaker wires, power, ground, bass knob. Everything's going to be running down the driver's side, okay? So now next we're going to remove the kick panel. Okay, so to remove this, you're going to take the pry tool and pop right here. There's a clip right there, and then all you're going to do is pull forward, because there's 2 clips, one at the top and one at the bottom, right? So, and then obviously to install it, you're going to do the exact same thing in reverse, right? This way, that'll give you clear access to run the power, ground, bass knob, tweeter to this side, and then there'll be a tweeter that runs to the other side. Okay? Then let's do the back. So on the back, we're going to do the same thing. So you're going to remove this piece. So there's 4 clips at the end, so you can start at one end and then kind of work your way forward. Okay, so now you're going to need to pull this B pillar. That's the A pillar, B pillar, and C pillar. So the easiest way is to kind of pry in here, and you're going to pop this side out. Come around to the other side. You're going to pop that side out, right? It's also easier to move the seat out of the way. Gives you a lot more access. So now you can literally just pull it forward. So there's just a clip right here. Okay, so, okay, now, once you get that out, there's a slit here that you pass the seat belt through, and that allows you to remove this as well. So then, same thing, you're able to run the wires nice and freely from the front all the way to the back without having to make any holes on the outside of the car. Lastly, we have to remove this C-pillar. This is the C-pillar. Now, this is in order so that you can run all your power, ground, speakers, everything. So the same thing, easiest way. Pry that up a little bit. The clip up here is a bit of a pain, so there's a clip at the top here, and then there's clips that run the entire length of the pillar. So and then there's always a clip here at the base. So right at the base, fine, there's a clip there. So once you pop it out like this, it'll give you enough space to basically feed the wires down through here, right? So you'll have an open track, and you can see on this side, it'll give you a free run to put it'll open it up so that you can put all the wiring through there. All right, just to demonstrate, I wanted to just show you, right? So as you can see, you can fish this through here, right? And then you can go. So obviously these wires, there'll be a power, a ground, 2 tweeter wires, and a base knob that have to run. But you have more than enough space for all of that. And as you can see, once it's all apart, that is actually fairly easy. Now you want to run under this bracket. Okay, so now you're to here. And then hold on. And then you're going to want to run okay. And then, so your tweeter wire is going to run up and right here to your tweeter, right? This will run to this driver's tweeter. It'll say DT, driver tweeter. And then for the passenger side, you're going to want to run it behind the carpet here. You can pick this up, and then you can fish it behind the console, down the carpet, and up the pillar on the other side. That one says PT, passenger tweeter. And you can just take a plastic fish and fish it behind the console. I'll show you that in a second. And then you can fish it across, right? The base knob, you're gonna fish up to here, and obviously it'll go right in here. So base knobs goes here, tweeter goes here, passenger tweeter goes over there, and you're done, right? And then the power wire is gonna go out the grommet. I'm actually gonna show you that. Okay, so a good way to fish it is to take a long fishing line, fishing rod, and kind of you're gonna poke it through the grommet. But ideally, on the inside, you're probably gonna it's a double layer grommet, so there's an inner portion and an outer portion. On the inner portion, you just got to make sure that you don't hit any of the wires. So you could put a slit in it that's, you know, maybe the length of the two wires next to each other, and then on the outer grommet, that'll allow you to feed that fish right, pop it right through. And you can actually put a small slit in that as well. There's actually, you'll be able to see there's a nub. The nub, you can actually cut it out, and then you can feed both wires through that nub opening. In order to access the battery compartment, you twist all these clips, and then you can remove this entire panel. And then there is a large rubber grommet down there. It's hard to see from this side, but so there's a large grommet, and it has like a nub sticking out of it. And through that nub, if you slice the nub, you can actually feed your your power wires through there. And then once you get the wires in here, you're just gonna run them to the battery. This is your positive terminal. This is your negative terminal. So the black goes to the negative terminal right there at the top. The red goes to this terminal right there. So red here, black here. So this is the grommet that we're talking about. So in order to run the wires, you have to, in essence, put a small, you have to be very careful, because obviously this is the main harness. You have to put a small slit, and then you can feed the wires out into the engine bay and pull them through. Now it is 2 wires, so it's 2 1/0 wires, which is a pretty heavy gauge wire, but you can get them through there. Now we're using this wire just to illustrate, because obviously this vehicle already has all the equipment in it already. To run the power wire over, you're going to want to come through here. Pull the wire through there. And then you're going to want to come through right through there. So there's this way you can get under these brake lines. And then now this wire just goes. So this is going to be your negative wire, and then you'll have another one for your positive wire, right? So you'll have this one that reaches right here. This one will go to your negative right here. And you can run it. If you could see, we followed the harness. So we like to wire tie it to the harness so that it looks, so that it looks like it came with the vehicle. And then you'll have a positive that runs to here for the circuit breaker, and then you're going to run back up to so the power will run here, and then you'll have another one that goes back up to the fuse terminal. Okay? All right. Now for the base knob, an option is you can mount it right here. This is a blank, so you can literally drill a small hole. We'll give you a little template, and then you can mount the base knob. So in order to get this out, you just take a small pry tool, and you kind of got to get behind it, and then that allows you to get it out. And as you can see, that's completely blank. So what we do is, you drill a small hole, and then you're going to run your base knob, and it's going to go right into that. Okay, so obviously the board is in this one already, but in yours, you're going to have, there'll be a subwoofer that lives here, and an amp rack, a metal amp rack that lives here. What you're going to do is you're going to remove the subwoofer enclosure, which is that nut, and then there's actually another bolt, and that will allow you to remove the enclosure. And then there's another one here for the amp rack. So when you remove that, there's going to be a hole in the cab. We gave you a block off plate. We'll show you that. Basically what that is you just clean the surface with alcohol, you wipe it, heat it a little bit, and then you can pop the black block off plate on. That'll seal it off so that no water and stuff can get in. Then you're gonna put these aluminum brackets on the board. This one goes from behind, and these go on the bottom. We'll show you, we'll show you on the table, on the bench. And then you're gonna slide the rack in here, drop it onto that bolt. This one, there's a spacer, a little white plastic spacer, and then a bolt that we supply to mount this one. With this, when you remove that bolt, you actually have to remove this assembly, and there's a lock washer on the back that retains this bolt. You basically pry that off with like a pry tool, and that allows you to put this piece back on, put the rack in, and then put the bolt in. This piece moves so you can move it out of your way. We're also going to send you this. This is a quick release. Normally this part of the seat does not flip down, but we're going to give you this so that you can access it whenever you need to, but you'll have to install it. Super easy to install. You pull the two factory T30 bolts, you slide the assembly in, put those bolts back in, and then this thing just slides over the latch, and that keeps it from popping off. Okay? But that allows us access. The initial time to get back here, it's kind of a pain. So you're gonna have to kind of look behind there, and you in essence have to, hold on a second. You have to pull this lever. So normally when the seat's closed, there'll be this lever. This bar will not be here. So what you have to do is kind of look back there, take like a hook, and pull this up, and that will release it and allow it to fold down. So this is the amp board. So your power will go into this red one, and then the fuses will be installed. Your ground will go into this one. When you unplug the factory amp, you're going to use these three connectors. This one is just going to go hidden in that C pillar. You plug in. This is going to be your speaker connection, your USB data connection. That's the audio, and this is the power ground, everything to the pack adapter. This piece you're going to run once the board is installed. You're going to run it under the seat. This is a subwoofer disconnect. You can only plug it in one way. There's no chance of making a mistake. All right. These are all the wires that we talked about earlier. So this is your driver tweeter, passenger tweeter, and then this is obviously your bass knob. So you're going to run these three cables as well as your power and your ground down the driver's side. Okay. For the amp bracket, you have two style brackets. One set with 2 holes, one set with 4 holes. They're pre-drilled already. From behind, you're going to put in the 4 screws from the back. That will mount this bracket. For the bottom, there is a dent here with 2 pre-drilled holes also, and you're going to put those 2 screws in. They'll be in a bag. And then over here on the edge, there's another dent with the pre-drilled holes, and you're going to put those 2 screws in. So basically, you're going to put in all 3 of these brackets, and then once you remove the enclosure and you do your block off, this piece just slides in. It goes on that one post. We do that, the hook up top for that bolt. On the bottom here, you're going to put the spacer, and the 1 bolt. All right. So that will mount the entire board, and then all you have to do after that is obviously run all this to the front and connect it. So this is the block off plate. Once you remove the subwoofer, you're going to have a hole that's this shape, this actually kind of goes into that recess. So you're gonna clean off the surrounding area with alcohol, wait for it to dry. Once you peel the backing, you're gonna wanna heat it with either a hair dryer or a heat gun. Something that you can control the heat and basically get it nice and pliable, because when it's a little bit more pliable, it sticks better and you're able to press on it more and have it make contact. If you just peel it and stick it, parts of it are gonna stick and parts of it aren't, because nothing is perfectly flat and therefore it's gonna have some gaps. But if you heat it really well and then make sure you press all the way around, it will stick and it's not coming off.